Hi there, my family and friends. I'm wishing you the best of times in these, the most tested of times, in the timeless now, which is the only time. As a plane surveils me back and circling overhead, since it is Saturn's day, I won't allow that to sway my concentration and consecration. I say, this video is about the opposite of what the man surveilling me is about. This video is about how, since there is no such thing as an official reality, perhaps one would be wise to inspect the phonetical spelling of every word, but in particular that word, off, I-C-I-A-L, off-I-C-L. In other words, the intelligence community will off us all if we believe in their official reality. Whereas, since in November 2023, it will have been 20 years that I've been in this county in California, I have felt intuitively I felt extremely infatuated for several, like say the first couple years I was in this town. And part of that wasn't due to the haunted, the black magic rituals and so forth. The good side of that was somewhat due to the energy of Lemuria or Mu. They they say that there's an actual Stargate in the exact Hawaiian island that I instinctively went to, as I said before, the day Gavin Newsom forced all Housies to go on house arrest. I was on Hawaiian Airlines for the first time, but the draconian martial law, they were in there. They even had a curfew and a very gloomy, solemn vibration over Kauai at the time. When I statistically found out that the suicide rate that in 1 week in March of 2020 was the same as the whole previous year. In other words, the same people off themselves in that 1 week as in the whole last year. Santa Cruz, despite the curse of Santa Cruz and the Babylon money curse always trying to infest it with more problems, will always maintain the ancient, loving Lemurian vibration that attracts someone such as me who study the spiritual mysteries. There was a section in Logo's bookstore called the Santa Cruz School, and as far as I can tell, what the Santa Cruz School would be a school that I would have joined. It was a informal, I guess, mystery, riddle, sacred, esoteric club of sorts that read books. So I'm using my creative powers here to make a claim. If there is no official reality, if it's a bunch of coercive, forced contracts with the Luciferic and satanic forces that since they control the mainstream media for 110 years, that you all mostly agreed to lock yourselves into the limited contractual Saturnian reality, well then what is the Jupiterian reality? What is the Neptunian reality? Well, I call it ONICAL reality. What is ONICAL reality? Well, is what I said Dave Rodriguez calls the non-aggression principle, or as I refer to it, the only 100% real golden rule, or rule associated with gold, is treat others as you would have them treat you. Treat everyone as a member of your family. Treat everyone with respect. ideally, in the future, we will learn to never treat anyone in a way that doesn't honor their higher self, their dream. My uncle David Brown said it very beautifully once, that he likes to see people as their higher self, as they dream. See the people around you, if they're harmless dreams, as their dream, because we are all the dreamer. My old friend L.C. Walker said, and I don't know if someone told him this or not, but he said, you can kill the dream, but you can't kill the dreamer. And this man was a sun sign Capricorn alcoholic. He would dig through the garbage to get cans. And he was fighting for the truth online, getting CIA guys erasing his emails all the time. This was probably 10, 12 years ago. And he told me he had a past life regression therapy, which I have not done, and not having my seals removed. I know I have extra work ahead in this journey, but in the ascension, I've learned many things. And so he told me he was a banker in a past life. And so he's very angry about defeating the devil in this life. Although he was a homeless guy and living in a tent that collected cans to get his 40, the CIA still felt compelled to erase his emails. And one day, one of his parents, who was wealthy, died, and he got an inheritance for a lot of money. And I saw him, and he had shaved, and he had had this long white beard ever since I knew him. And he was going to see the Steven Spielberg movie, The Post, I think, with the clean-shaven face. And asked me if I wanted to go, and I didn't. But so the ONICAL reality would be the trees, the birds, the frogs, the coyotes. And honestly, for sure, I don't have any clue, and I don't know if anyone does, as to say how organic a human is. Let's say we have a clue, or several clues, that the Aboriginal race and the dark-skinned Africans of Africa are more indigenous here. But, I'm not 100% clear on that even. And there are those that claim the Christos had representatives in all the different colors. But, I'm half Irish. The Celtic commune with nature, the ancient Druidic, before it became infiltrated by the dark side, was a very respectful, nature-based thing. So it could be that all the races have been from Earth, but the alien system, and for food for thought, was the last video I made more or less compelling, because I was only intoxicated on a little bit of homemade cold brew. So like and subscribe and comment. If you get anything out of these videos, tell your friends and subscribe, because I gotta have 1,000 followers before YouTube will let me make any money off this, and I don't want any deal with any middlemen. But I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this because for 19 years, for 25 years, I've been studying spiritual wisdom, and the year is 2022. It's time for me to give back. So I hold my tip jar out, and I hold my expansion button out, and you can press the wisdom expansion button if you feel that you learned anything from this by telling others about it and subscribing. But so what I've learned since the lockdown, and like I said, through the actions of Ron DeSantis suing the Biden administration, using the Supreme Court, that, as I said before, the original experiment on this property is that humans are given free will if you're born here. So you get to choose what you think, believe, ingest, inject, and So what I would add to that is, in the ONICAL reality, you have a responsibility to figure out how you're going to get your food, if not farm or hunt and kill for your food. Figure out how to get along with other humans in some way that's not violent. Figure out how to have your responsibility is to have a shelter of some sort, keep your body clean, and ideally to physically grow a family, have a wife or a mate and children. And this is where I feel like I have to forgive myself in a deep way for obeying the subconscious thought forms that were here, of fear in that. And but also spiritual growth. Your spiritual body, your emotional body, your mental body, your soul, or if you will, needs to grow. It can go the other way. You can become more of an idiot. You can become spiritually retarded. And the phenomena we call ghosts is where someone who doesn't believe anything about spiritual reality gets stuck if they die, especially in Santa Cruz. If they die, they become stuck in the fourth dimension. And if anyone watches this knows how to do a true exorcism or has any techniques to help these souls along, please let me know, because I've tragically gotten in a horrible habit of following the suggestion of the so-called online shaman Andrew Bartzis and trying to humiliate them or tell them off, and which has sometimes resulted in more actual physical violence, or you know, they'll confiscate and hide small objects, and so it sort of becomes a nightmare. But the ONICAL is not 3D at all. It's, we're multidimensional beings, and so the reality we're in here is a multidimensional reality. The fourth dimension just contains, especially around here, many hologramic, electronic, deep mind control programs, as well as just flat out microwaves and nanobots, as well as ghosts and other antiverse entities out the wazooski. So if someone such as the guy talking here wanted to learn to be a shaman in some kind of crash course, or even without having a physical teacher, aside from like Carlos Castaneda books and so forth, well, it served that purpose pretty well. So, as I said before, thoughts are things, and when you're in a haunted and magical and powerful vortex such as this, well, the first several years I was here, whenever I'd come to a judgment, I was very social and living with other people, not like the hermit I am now. And I would notice very quickly if I came to a judgment, someone would show up with the opposite perspective, with an opposite point of view that could help me to smash my judgments. So these are reasons why someone who wanted to become a spiritual healer or learn healing would love this town, even as horrible as it has been at times. So obviously, in the imposed alien system that we're used to, they use coercion, the media to invert everything. You got fake uninformed consent, and they try to steal your free will. And focus on the rent, because that's what matters, is you're paying for the box, the separation. But your ONICAL responsibility is to bring togetherness and oneness. That's right. Thank you. Like and subscribe, and God bless you, all my kins. And remember, there's nothing that will ever separate you from your family. It will always be all around you.